Hi, and welcome to the next video in the series of how you know you're ready to start healing. And this is sign number 4. So, for sign number 4, you are ready to let go of the relenting perfectionism that you find yourself feeling like you need to achieve. And that's because for so long you've been trying to be perfect, and now you're just downright exhausted. Trust me, I know that feeling so deep. I wanted to be exactly the way that everyone wanted me to be and expected me to be, and I'm sure you feel that way too. And so when we get into this modality, this method of being a perfectionist, it almost feels like we become a robot. Life becomes so robotic, we feel caged in and we're stifled because our inner light is not allowed to shine. Our essence is so dim that it just feels like it might go completely out. It just might go black. And so, really, at the end of the day, we are ready to let our hair down and get messy and embrace what feels right for us in this moment, regardless of how other people will see us or think about us. And this I noticed a lot very early on in my healing journey. It was showing up, this need for perfectionism. There's a fly that won't stop buzzing me that just showed up relentlessly because I had left my teaching career. So I felt like I was a failure and I was really struggling to adjust to being a stay-at-home mom. And I felt guilty about failing as a teacher and leaving that job that I so desperately wanted. But I also felt really guilty for not loving being a stay-at-home mom because, being a mom is a blessing, it's a gift, and not all women get to have that gift. And so we're almost conditioned to believe that because of that, we're supposed to love being a mom and being with our children 24/7, 365, and never having a moment where we think, oh my gosh, this is absolutely exhausting and I need a break. And so I felt like I had to compensate for the fact that I wasn't able to make it past my teaching career for 6 years. And I also felt like I had to compensate Sply for not just moving into stay-at-home mom life with this super easy transition. And so this perfectionism was so strong, so rampant that I wanted everybody to think I was the ideal mom. And so I had healthy snacks and meals for my kids and limited screen time, and I tried never to lose my patience and always be the mom who was smiling and being happy. And, I had something planned constantly. If it wasn't mommy and me groups, it was crafts, it was day trips to the zoo or the children's museum or visiting with other friends who were stay-at-home moms and having perfect family projects. When my daughter was in preschool, every month they would give us a family project that was really just a craft, and it was themed around that month. And I can remember specifically one family project. Well, every family project was met with resistance by my daughter because she is like me. She's headstrong, she's independent, she has her own ideas, her own beliefs, and she had her own vision of how this family project should look, which did not align with how I thought the family project should look. And she just basically wanted to scribble all over the scarecrow cut out with markers. And I was not going to have that. That just was not okay. So we had yellow yarn, and I was like, we could cut this up and glue it on and make it look like the straw for the scarecrow's body sticking out of his shirt and his pants. And I had a lot of fabric because I sewed for a while, and I was like, we could use the fabric to make his clothes, and it will look so great and googly eyes and all of these things. And she was like, I don't want any of that. And I could feel my blood pressure boiling because I thought, with the way that you want to do it, it's going to look like a train wreck. And I cannot have your art hanging up in the hallway looking a hot mess when the other projects are going to look polished and perfect. And so that was mistake number one. Let me tell you, those projects do not look polished and perfect. Most of them look like a train wreck because the parents were not willing to fight an unnecessary battle like me and go head to head with their kid to make this perfect project. They're like, whatever, you want to glue cereal on your pumpkin? Have at it. You want to use markers to color your scarecrow? Have at it. They were not worried about what other people were thinking about their kid's project, where I was. So that was where I got so hung up. It was because I just worried so much what other people were going to think and say about me as a mom and a parent, and a former educator, if I let my child go into school with a train wreck of a family project. So it took me a long time to understand the importance of allowing Lily to be able to have her creative expression with these family projects and to let go and not need them to be perfect. But being a mom can be demanding and exhausting enough as it is, and then add the pressure to yourself to be perfect. It's an impossible task. You literally are setting yourself up for constant struggle and feelings of inadequacy. And that was me. I always felt like I never measured up. I felt like every day was a struggle. I felt like it was exhausting. It was tumultuous. It was never easy. It just felt so daunting. And so what I didn't understand was that this relenting need for perfectionism was actually a pattern that I had been running my whole life, that started when I was in childhood, when my dad started dating my stepmom. I wanted so badly to be seen and loved by him and not feel like I was being replaced by my stepmom, that I went into perfection mode, thinking that if I was perfect, then he wouldn't pass me over. He wouldn't pick my stepmom over me, and he would still love me the same, if not more, than he did initially. And so I was like determined to make sure that I did not become second fiddle between the relationship with my dad and me and my dad and my stepmom. And that's where the perfectionism probably really started. And I was 6 when they started dating. So it's a long time to fall into this path of perfectionism. And so the other part of it was that perfectionism really continued into like my early 20s, when I reconnected with my dad after not talking to him for 5 years because of the abusive boyfriend in high school, that I felt like I also had to continue being perfect because I had to make up for the fact that I was in that relationship and didn't talk to my family for 5 years. So it was just not, but I don't think I consciously realized that that was what I was doing. I was trying to be perfect to gather love and attention and validation. I just subconsciously knew it was what I had to do to be seen and heard and loved. And that's what I did. And so if you're ready to heal, you know that you're at this place in life where you are okay with being anything but perfect, and you'd rather be who you are authentically without morphing into a chameleon. And I got to this place too when I knew I was ready to heal, because I was like, you know what? I'm okay with the mom that I am. My kids are happy. They know I love them, and I'm going to allow them to have screen time. And I'm going to allow the playroom to look like a bomb went off in there. And I'm not going to try to have my house designed and decorated perfectly. And you know what? I felt so much less stress and less anxiety, and I felt like I could be more present with my kids, in my marriage, with myself, with friends, just in general. And it was really so freeing. So if you are at that place in your healing journey where you're recognizing that you too are tired of being perfect and you're ready to be anything but that, I would say embrace that imperfection, because it's going to allow yourself to feel that freedom that you're so desperately seeking. But I would say that brace yourself, because you're not going to know really what it feels like until it happens. And it might be, I feel like, a little bit more than you can handle at first, but embrace it, enjoy it. It's going to be an incredible feeling. So start that healing journey.